It only took 2 of us 5 seconds to figure it out.
Suck on it, winners.
Turns out you have to click on buttons.
Yeah, no shit.
Buttons.
Okay.
That's how they get you. Buttons.
Hang on a sec. We should be live now. Let us know if there are any
sound
audio issues.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever done this as far as hosting.
Let me pull it up.
Issues.
Nope, sounds good.
This is the first time. All right.
Okay, let me pull up the live chat.
Hey, we've got people in here.
Yeah, okay, so that's Tatsumari. Tatsumari is one of my voice actors. Hi, Tatsu. And No-Faced Goldfish. Faint Bunny, is that you? You use so many fucking names, dude. I'm pretty sure that's you, though. That was at 5. Yeah, that was right just now. Okay, cool. All right, cool.
All right.
Oh, this is Wesley, by the way. He's awesome. You should check out his channel, the Comic Den here. We've talked about Star Wars and things like that, different comics and such. And now he was interested in talking about Spartans Generation. So we're going to do that. Remember, that's the first machinima in the Spartan legacy chronologically. Came out in 2015 in Halo 2 Anniversary. So it's a little bit of an older one, but a goodie. He's compiled a list of questions. And he is the host, and I am talking too much. So take it away, Wes.
What an introduction to my own show. All right. So I am the Comic Den. What I do is I pick out some comics that I think some people will like. We sit down, we talk to them. Usually I have a more formal introduction, but this wasn't about a comic this time. So we did your thing that you made, that you were the creator of. Obviously, you didn't create Halo, but you've taken it to a different level, which was really interesting to sit and kind of break down and analyze the same way that I would analyze a comic book.
Yeah, how did that go for you anyway? Because that was your first machinima.
Yeah, it was a lot more difficult than I thought. Because with a comic you have to read into things, whereas if you're watching a production, that's kind of done for you.
Right.
I can see your actions.
Right.
You say more in there rather than what a comic is a still frame and they say something and then you're like, okay, well, what do they mean by that? You can also get tone and inflection, right? Whereas in comics, you just make the words bigger or you put an exclamation point. So it was a little more difficult to break down.
Yeah.
But I did it. I watched through them. Some of them more than once, most of them twice. I meant some of them more than twice, most of them twice. But yeah, so we're just going to dive right in. I've got a lot that I want you to explain to me.
Also, hi, Halo Hunter.
Yeah. So most of you guys are his fans. So you're going to be the one in charge of telling me who's here.
They all are.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Shut up. Hey.
Yeah.
No, you did give me big news today that I am up to 29 subscribers.
29.
I was at 12 last time.
Really?
I don't pay attention.
I thought you were like, oh, I'm up from 28.
Oh, I know. YouTube has really been something that I just like set it and forget it. I make the videos, I post the videos, I don't pay attention.
By the way, that reminds me, this dude actually helped make a comic. It's called Magnus the Brave. Later we should like maybe show it or post a link or something.
Yeah, for sure. We've got issue 2, the Kickstarter's funded. We're waiting on the artist to finish up some art, and then issue 2 is actually going to be out.
Yeah, so it's really cool. It's about this barbarian who just fucking kicks ass, and that's in a nutshell. Also, looks like Mega Productions here. That's Megalodon. That's Hugh, one of my primary voice actors. Hey, Hugh.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love seeing all these people here. I think this is going to be my format from now on.
Okay.
I like the live.
It looks like it's working.
Yeah, it seems like it's going pretty good. So you had mentioned that we did some Darth
They say
Vader.
30 now.
30. Oh,
Stay subscribed.
Awesome. I was wondering, I was like, what do you guys with the numbers?
Talking about
I didn't know if that was like the delay. Or
yeah,
what.
they subscribe to you. Thanks, guys.
Sweet. All right. We're just going to count this as it goes up. Like it's one of those PBS fundraisers.
I'm going to get you to 100 tonight. I'm going to do it.
All right. So we talked about, you've done a plethora of Vader comics with me. I would say probably 50% of that is actually us talking about the comic book Vader. The rest of it is tangents.
Yeah, we do tend to get
around.
on tangents, just FYI, but they're very enjoyable tangents, I promise.
Okay, so I know you have a lot of your fans and people that you work with.
Yeah.
But for people who might see this later on, explain, for one, what a machinima is and what your Chronicler series is on a larger scale.
A machinima is essentially an animated movie created with a video game engine. I use primarily Halo, multiple games in the series. So it's all puppet acted out in a game, recorded with a capture card used in theater mode, which allows you to replay games that have already been played, detach a camera, move it around, rewind, fast forward, stuff like that. And then you put I'm simplifying a lot, but you put music and audio in and you edit it up just like you would a regular movie. And that's what it is. Machinima is a combination of the words machine and cinema. Machine being the game and cinema being movie.
Okay. I thought it was machine enema.
Not quite.
It's not those two?
No.
Okay. That'd be a different story.
That'd be a different story, a very different story.
More Eastern German story.
Absolutely.
So, okay, now that's a machinima. Tell me what Chronicler is.
Well, a chronicler is someone who essentially tells stories. That's what I do. I tell the 177 is because YouTube wouldn't let me just put chronicler in.
So he chose a random number?
No, it chose it for me. But here's the cool part. The main character of Halo, the Master Chief, his number as a Spartan is 117.
Okay.
So I was one number off, but I made this name and number before I even knew what Halo was.
Okay, so honestly, the 177 sounds important. You need to come up with a reason why it's important, and then just go with that.
I tampered with ideas like that. Like, what if I was like, you know how Doctor Who has like 14 different versions of him / herself? So what if I was like the 177th in a line of chroniclers?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. Well, in Chronicler...
That's a lot of fucking chroniclers, though. That's 176 other chroniclers.
That failed.
I guess.
Because they're not around anymore. You killed them all.
I fucking killed them.
But, okay, so Chronicler, if I remember correctly...
Oh, Winners is here. That's my Discord manager. Hey, Winners, let's try to get him to 100 subscribers tonight. He can do it.
Yeah, you guys blow whoever you need to get me there.
Kiss some ass. Yeah.
So Chronicler is like a little robot machine. It's not
a character.
It's not a person though.
Yeah, I mean, they're people. They're just in armor.
Okay. I thought at the beginning of this,
no,
it was like a little floating.
The floating eyeball is another character in the Spartan Legacy who you don't know yet because you haven't seen Omega Halo.
Okay.
No, that's 1167 Humble Guardian. That's a different character.
Okay, that's where I saw it. It wasn't in this. It was in...
No, it is. It's at the very beginning of Generation.
Okay. Did you also have it?
He is in other ones.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is not me.
Right.
No, I am represented by an avatar in white and gold armor, usually carrying a hammer.
Okay. I think the only time I've ever seen that is whenever I saw your like, do you do that character as fan mail? Fan mail?
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No. Guardian's a whole other guy, but we'll talk about him when we talk about Omega Halo whenever we get to that next time.
Gotcha. All right. So your stories, you have Generations, you have Omega Halo, you have...
and that's all in the Spartan Legacy, which is its own universe.
You have Odd Man Out.
Another universe.
Okay. But you've explained to me before kind of your general plan. How much of that can you say?
So not much because they don't totally know about it.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, I will say...
Then I won't go into it.
You know what? If you guys are here, you're going to get a little bit of reward for this. There is a multiverse.
All right.
I'm going to leave it at that.
I didn't mean to make you spoil anything.
No, it's not a spoiler at all. Actually, that was probably perfect because anyone who decided to chime in now just got that. That's a reward.
Okay, so for those who might not,
Neo will kiss all the ass.
thank you very much. For those who are going to join in later who aren't part of your crew, where should they start whenever they start watching?
If you are looking into the Spartan Legacy series, which is my take on post Halo 3 Halo, a divergent timeline from the proper games, you want to start at the one we're talking about now, which is Spartan's Generation. Otherwise, if you're not into action drama sort of stuff, if you want something funnier, you could look at Odd Men Out. Or if you want something,
I really enjoy it. That's where I started.
And you started with Odd Men Out
Yeah.
a while back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, before we even started talking about
doing the stream
it.
and everything. Yeah.
I started with Odd Men Out. I didn't need to know anything about Halo.
Right. Because it's totally its own thing.
Yeah. You're just using Halo characters.
Yeah. As for the graphics, yeah.
But I have I had zero knowledge of Halo.
Right.
So,
I made him watch Halo Legends Origins.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is where should people go to learn about Halo if they don't want to play through
if they don't want to play the okay, you can find fucking anything on YouTube that'll recap it. God knows it's been recapped a million times.
Yeah.
But my favorite way of introducing to people to Halo is if they're not going to play the games, watch the Origins chapters of the Halo Legends series, which you should be able to find on DVD.
It was extremely helpful, and I thought it was done amazingly well because it's all narrative.
Yep.
It's somebody telling a story, and then they show flashes like pictures.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think that would be a very interesting thing, but for one, it gives you a ton of information, walks you through the entire timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Up to that point.
Up to the end of Halo 3,
and
which is where, coincidentally, Generation picks off from.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have complained to me a lot about Halo 5.
Yeah.
So how does Halo 4 fare?
Halo 4 is actually my favorite game.
Okay.
Halo 4 was extremely character-driven
mm-hmm.
and delved deeper into the characters of Master Chief and Cortana in the way that the previous games did not. It has my favorite soundtrack. It visually is very pleasing, and it's a perfect length. I would say it's about the same length as the original game, Combat Evolved, which all the other games except maybe Halo 2 were a bit shorter than that, and Halo 5 could be finished in 4 hours.
So you said yours picks up after 3.
Yes.
Your stories.
5 years after Halo 3.
Okay. So do you consider 1, 2, 3 are in your chronology?
Yes.
Then you have your story.
Yeah.
Does Halo 4 count in your timeline, or are you just saying that was an excellent thing, but we're not?
Exactly. See, I technically started the Spartan Legacy in 2008
mm-hmm.
before Halo 4 came out in 2012. So up until Halo 4 came out, my timeline was perfect chronologically.
Right.
When Halo 4 came out, don't get me wrong, I love Halo 4's story, but of course they didn't consult me. Why would they? So I now consider it a split.
Yeah.
Halo 4 and 5 and whatever,
Divergent.
and Infinite in one, and the Spartan Legacy in the other.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody went back and messed with the time stream.
Yeah, sure.
Never pee in the time stream.
They pulled the time stone out, and it created
and they never came back.
They never came back and replaced it. Back. Yeah. So, yeah. But it's been working out pretty well, I think.
Nobody watches.
I mean, at least I've made better stories than Halo 5, and I didn't get paid. So
you got paid in love.
Exactly. That is the best form of payment. But 1, 2, 3, Reach, and ODST all solidly happened. Everything up until Master Chief goes to sleep is everything before that is exactly the same.
So did you hate Halo 5 just because you could play it in 5 hours? Or
no, I hated it because the story was a fucking letdown.
Okay.
Because they hired a new writer and they scrapped everything that they had set up for to tell this completely new bullshit story that doesn't make any sense and was obviously made up in a few hours.
Yeah. Why did they do that, do you think? Somebody's cousin needed a job?
I really don't fucking know. I mean, I know Halo 4 got a lot of unjustified hate for whatever reason. because people hate everything new.
Right.
And
it came up right in that culture of let's hate everything as it comes out.
Well, it was the changing of the guard, you know, 343. That was their first attempt. They did very well, but I think they buckled under all this, the vocal minority.
Right.
You know, and
very loud vocal minority. Which
yeah,
is
I mean, it's Halo.
Is.
You know, and back then, Reach had just finished up. It was 2012. Halo was still fucking huge. It's not anymore. But back then, it was a big fucking deal.
They're rebooting it, right?
Infinite's a soft reboot. Like, they're not totally scrapping everything that happened, but they're not like, I don't think they're directly feeding off it either.
But are they ignoring 5?
No, they're not ignoring it. They're just like
putting it in the
brushing.
Corner.
Well, it's like, okay, so in Halo 5, Cortana turned evil and unleashed the Guardians. I think from what we know in Infinite, we will feel the after effects of it.
Okay.
But like the immediate events that happened after Infinite or after Halo 5, I think are going to be completely skipped. Mm-hmm. And I think lot of, I don't know, honestly, it could go in any direction right now. We know nothing about it, except that Chief has his old armor back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems like from what you've seen, they just yada yada a bunch of the stuff that happened.
I mean, they fucking yada yada in Halo 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were going very strong right up until Halo 4 or until Halo 5 came out. Halo 4 ended. It set up the new trilogy because it was going to be a trilogy. It set it up perfectly with the Didact back and the Reclamation ready to start, and the comics supported that. They had the Escalation series, which fed all of these plot threads that Halo 4 ended with and continued and grew them. Imagine if there was this big tree with Halo 4 as the trunk and all the branches spreading off, and they were all going in these different directions, and it was going to be really good. And then Halo 5 came along and cut down the fucking tree. Just ended all of it, and I knew it was going to happen. The second I played the first mission, Halo 4 and some of the books that came out alongside it and the comics Escalation led up this new leader of the new Covenant, Julim Dama. Badass elite, real nasty guy. But with a great backstory and really interesting possible character elements. In the first ending level of Halo 5, they stabbed him in the neck and forgot about him. And I was like, oh, fuck me. I know where this is going. And it did. Yeah. Not to mention, they promised in the lead up to Halo 5, all the advertisements like, oh my God, Chief is going rogue. He's going away from the UNSC, and Jameson Locke is going to have to hunt him down, and they're going to have to fight each other, and it's going to be real gray instead of white and black like it's always been. There was fucking none of that. I mean, like, they threw a few punches, and then they separated again, and then Cortana was brought back in, even though they said, oh yeah, Cortana's dead. She's never coming back. She is dead. Her sacrifice at the end of Halo 4 meant something, and Chief will have to deal with it. Chief ain't had to deal with shit. Cortana came back immediately without even a cutscene. Her voice just starts speaking in the middle of the game, and it's like, what? Really? So it's just failed marketing. It was just an absolute clusterfuck, and I guarantee it's because they had to rush it, due to Microsoft probably worrying about Halo 5 sales and pulling that around. Yeah. And then them also forcing 343 to develop the Master Chief Collection instead of just Halo 2 Anniversary. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not on the inside. That's just my theory. And we all, except for you, we all know where it went from there. Right. So this is like their last chance to like get it right or crumble. If they fuck up Infinite, it's dead. I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to buy it anyway to make machinimas with it, but if Infinite's not good, I might be fucking done with the Halo story. Yeah. At that point, I'll probably consider fucking the Legacy a better continuation, and I didn't want to say that. Right. Like, I love the Spartan Legacy, but if a fucking company can't write better than I can, that's bad. Yeah. That's really bad. Yeah, because they have teams and resources and time and money. I got none of that, you know. It's a dark time right now, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be huge. I'm sure you'll love it. It seems like people are putting more stock into great games. Now,
I say that, and we know we've all played very rushed games. We can see rushed games coming on the horizon.
Oh, sure. I mean, I've put hours and hours and hours and hours into Fallout 76, but there's no bullshit about that game's development. It's
Right.
fucking broken. There's almost no quality assessment. I get it.
Yeah.
Same thing's been happening with every other AAA franchise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, cross your fingers and then hope that it turns out. So whenever we started watching it, whenever I started watching it, I really appreciated your little Guardian bot.
Yeah.
Going through and just reminding me of that backstory fill in.
Well, I kind of figured it was never previously actually stated that it was an alternate timeline.
Right.
So I was like, it's probably time that I solidify what's going on here, lay some bedrock, which was the entire point of Generation. Put down the bedrock, because I had the original Spartans series and then the entire Reach trilogy sitting on almost nothing, because the original Spartans did not do a good job at all of explaining what the fuck was going on, in the universe. So Spartan Generation gave it some foundation to sit on finally, and then I was like, okay, I'll just remake the original Spartans anyway. So that's where Omega Halo comes from.
Gotcha. So yeah, even before I did any research, like if I hadn't have watched the videos that you had given me, it was really nice to see that, because that even filled in some holes that I didn't get or that I didn't quite remember from the Origins shows that you let me watch. And it also reminded me of a few things that maybe I need to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. I really appreciate that, especially going into something just about blind.
Right.
So we talked about when this chronology takes place. Let's see. Answered that. Good job. So your B-roll shots are intermixed with like cutscenes from games, right? Yeah. To kind of help you give
in that opening.
Okay.
Bit, yeah. The rest of it's all me.
I thought it was really well done.
Thank you.
A lot of your cutscenes, you can really, it flows. It's not just like and now here's this.
It used to be.
It's not like the Family Guy cutscenes.
Yeah. No, it used to be like that maybe maybe a decade ago. But no, I at least had that on track by 2015.
Yeah.
There was still a lot of stuff. I mean, you may have noticed the supreme lack of high definition. I didn't fix that until 2017, when I actually balled up and bought a capture card instead of using this old ass camera plugged into the Xbox, fed through an HDMI converter back into the RGA,
sure,
whatever, the jacks. But yeah, it was at least widescreen.
You mean you didn't just have a camera on the TV?
No, that was 2008. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what got you into making machinimas?
Well, in 2005 or 6, I think, my cousin introduced me to Halo, and also introduced me to a series called Red versus Blue, which have you heard of?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
It's
by the way.
It's like the
original.
Yeah.
It was like there were some machinimas before then.
But that's the one that made
it. But Red versus Blue made it fucking explode, because it was really well done.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, I'd really like to do this. And then I just kind of did.
Yeah.
I don't really have any other explanation other than I felt like I needed to do it, and I'm still fucking doing it.
RCA. It's an RCA.
RCA, thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah.
All right. Let's go through here, because these guys are talking about 343 flops infinite.
I'll pull a Joey. That's odd man out.
Through it.
Fucking 343. Oh my God. I can't believe it. They came out with another game. They let us all the fuck down. Tyler, get the fuck off my back. I don't give a shit if you like the campaign. Fucking idiot.
Okay, so let's say Halo crashes and burns.
A king has his reign and then he dies.
Are there any other games that have the capacity to record in the same way that Halo does?
I mean, nothing really has like a theater mode. Like Fallout 76 has a free cam at least, but that game is buggy and laggy as shit. So
it just seems like with the explosion of machinimas and the explosion of people doing crazy stuff like this, even though machinimas have kind of fallen off,
really fallen off.
Right, but it's still something cool that you can add.
Yeah.
And that they continue to
Well,
add.
except that now the game industry is focusing on microtransactions and battle royale.
Yeah.
Not to sound like a jaded old asshole, but I mean that's the way things are going.
Yeah.
Machinima doesn't bring people in like it did in 2007,
right,
which is when theater was introduced in Halo.
Yeah.
In Halo 3.
I guess I just think about it, you know.
Now you don't have to have theater mode to do it. You can still shoot live.
But think about how awesome it would be if Fallout had a theater mode, or if
you use mods,
if you had Red Dead 2 in theater mode.
I'm sure people have found ways to make Red Dead machinimas.
I get that.
Yeah.
But it's not something machinimas seem like something that I could sit there and tinker with enough to do it. Whereas if you're going to do it with Red Dead, or if you're going to do it with Fallout or some of these other games that are out there, it seems like it would take more effort and not something that you could just, like you did. You said you just started doing it because you liked it.
Yeah.
It's not really something you can just do.
Right.
You got to really kind of know what you're doing.
Right. You can learn it over time, but you're not.
Yeah, and then how many people just get frustrated, stop doing it?
A lot of them. I've seen a lot of channels maybe release a trailer, or maybe the director will do a couple scenes and then just nothing.
Yeah. So doing this made me really wish I had jumped on the Halo bandwagon. Just because it's such an amazing story. It's right up my alley.
It's so fucking good. Halo has everything.
I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
I love aliens.
Yeah.
I love violence.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't grow up with enough money.
It's not even that big on the violence aspect. Like Gears of War is more violent, you know?
Yeah, but
you shoot stuff, but their arms don't fly off for the most part. There's not excessive blood and gore, but it's still you hop around because you're a super soldier, fucking punching aliens and shooting them in the head. You know, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And for one, I've told you this. I'm not good at first-person shooters.
It takes a breed.
I'm just not. And whenever I played Killzone, I was good as a sniper because I can just find a place and I can snipe people. And I was good as a medic because I can heal the fuck out of some people. But I was good whenever I'm playing the campaign because I can set it to how
any
easy.
Difficult. Well, everybody's good when they're playing.
And then I go to play, other people.
I had that,
and I'm just getting blown away.
Yeah. No, I used to whoop my dad and sister's ass in local multiplayer before we ever got Xbox Live. Then I got Xbox Live, and I'm like, I'm gonna kick some ass. Hop into Halo 3 matchmaking. Fucking wasted.
Yeah.
Just it's embarrassing.
Just people putting like stupid hours
into that game. You just don't fucking know where it comes from.
Yeah.
Like you're just walking along it dead.
Yeah.
And you jump over this wall dead. You pick up a crap with dead. Yeah, it's.
Or you get somebody who has their scope trained on the respawn site.
Oh God. I mean, most games can kind of prevent spawn camping these days, but shit. Now the fucking. You should have been there. 2007 to 2012.
If I would have gotten in, like I've gotten into some books, like because you could watch this as a book or read this as a book.
Sure,
it would be perfect.
They have
and
books.
I
Why
get
weren't
that.
you reading them?
I just never got into it. Again, I wasn't into first person shooters at that point. I was more, Fallout stuff like open world. or sports,
Sure.
Madden, shit like that. But also, I could never afford like the new Xbox, so I always had to buy it 2 generations before.
Yeah.
So I just never got it. I missed the train, and
It happens.
I really wish that I hadn't.
Well, hopefully there's a new train coming with Infinite.
Maybe.
And there's more you can do than just play multiplayer. They got custom games. They got hopefully some form of firefight, which is horde mode. You got Forge, where you can just literally just tinker with maps and build shit.
Okay, so now I have an Xbox.
And hopefully
One.
the campaign will be like 10 hours long or something.
Or no,
I'll take 8.
got a Xbox 360.
Yeah, you need a 1
to play any of them.
To play the newer ones, you can play.
Right, but I can catch up.
Oh,
right?
sure,
What can I play
yeah.
what can I play on the 360?
1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach. Although, if you buy an Xbox One, you can also get all of those games on one disc on the Master Chief Collection, because Reach is coming out for it soon. Oh, and it'll be available on PC.
Okay.
Master Chief Collection's coming to PC soon. I know you have a PC.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you could do that.
Okay.
And then if you... Oh, no! Infinite is coming to PC too. What the fuck am I talking about? Just play them on PC.
I'm more of a controller guy.
And I think you can hook up a controller to it.
Okay.
I think people do it. You should look into that. That way you wouldn't have to buy an Xbox. Because I know you already got a PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
No, the only reason you want to buy an Xbox is if you want to play Elite Dangerous with me. They announced fleet carriers. Look fucking cool. Anyway, 4 is... Oh, you're right. Sorry. 4 is also on the 360.
Okay.
But you'll get that...
and then I can
why
just
did
not
I know
play
that?
5.
Yeah, 5 won't be on the PC, I think. But
Yeah.
you can kind of... I can tell you what happened. It's not much.
So the story to me is... should we, and this is the Halo story in general, it's a very like, should we try to win by any means necessary story, mixed with like government corruption and
There's some of that in there.
Shadiness.
Yeah. Primarily for the first main games, it was mostly the humanity struggle. We were always the underdog. Like the second the Covenant attacked in 25, we were the underdog. And the only thing that we could use to actually make progress against them is the Spartans like Master Chief. So the entire premise of the original Halo game was humanity is dying and you're the only one who can save them.
Right.
So the question, should we win at any cost? The answer would have been yes. And the cost is usually about 4,000 rounds of ammunition and buckshot and grenades.
Well, and it's not just that, but we learn further in, like the moral cost.
Well, I mean,
they did.
if you were reading the books when the first game came out, you learn like, oh my God, Master Chief was stolen as a child and conscripted when he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And then pumped full of drugs and painfully augmented.
Yeah.
And now he's a broken human being.
Which at 6 years old, you have memories of family.
Yeah.
And it's not like they switched you at birth. Like, oh, here's a defective baby we'll take this one. Right?
No, that is actually what they did.
Oh, they did.
They literally made Flash clones that lived for a couple more years.
Oh, so then they just
the parents just thought they died. Jeez. It was the perfect fucking scheme.
Yeah.
For kidnapping children. You know, the best part is they weren't even made to fight the Covenant. They were made to quash insurrection.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was talking about with the government story, the government corruption story.
The UNSC and the Office of Naval Intelligence are absolute pieces of shit.
Yeah. And then they're the heroes.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of get into that a little bit later.
We'll talk about that.
Because I've got some deep philosophical questions.
Yeah, sure.
Coming your way about
Let's
some
keep
of the
moving.
stuff. How long does it take you to get the action scenes right?
To get the action scenes right?
Yeah.
If everybody works well, 1 or 2 takes.
Really?
If everybody works well.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes not so much. Sometimes, shit goes awry. You got 16 internet connections to deal with.
Right.
You got everybody not being a professionally trained actor, which is fine. Everybody usually does pretty well because they're used to playing the game normally. But I usually manage to corral people to do it in a couple takes. Now, actually filming them, I can usually get, right now the model is 5 episodes for the entire series. Each episode is around 25, 30 minutes. And I can usually film for about 2.5 to 3 hours before I call a session quits.
Mhm.
Episode 2 of the one we're working on right now took 4 sessions. So a month. So 5 months, 5 to 6 months for body acting.
Mm-hmm.
That's about right.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So Halo Hunter on here says he always thought that Chief actually meets his mother, who thought he was dead, and
we get our face reveal, and that's. I don't think so.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
No explanation needed. You're wrong, sir. No,
That's
you can explain it if you want. Why you don't think so?
Because I think his mom's dead. I mean, it's been.
What if they created a Flash clone of his mom?
No, because it would be dead too. Flash clones don't live long. It's been like 30 fucking years.
But they wanted to.
Oh, and I'm pretty sure. I feel like Epsilon Aradnus 2 was glassed, which I'm pretty sure was the name of Chief's home planet. So, yeah. And also, I really hope they don't show Chief's face. I really hope they don't show Chief's face. And I just like it that way. Anyway, keep going.
All right, so we see at the very beginning, your character walks up behind a split jaw. See what I did there?
Yeah, you're getting good with the terminology.
And he says,
"Did you notice why they're called split jaws?
Because
they got 4 fucking
jaw.
mandibles. They're predator." Yeah.
And your character walks up behind him, and he says, "Let's dance."
It's a little cheesy, but I think it's kind of badass.
So he does have a flair for the dramatic.
A little bit.
But after watching it, I was wondering, it's a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Is he taking it as serious as he would?
And not in real combat.
Because he doesn't ever do that in real combat.
Right.
But he did it in there.
Right.
He's a very serious character.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, like I explained in one of the looking back videos, which is my behind the scenes videos, Saul is a man who all of a sudden had the entire weight of the world put upon his shoulders because he was most qualified.
Right.
So, yeah, he's pretty serious about it.
So, as a fellow writer, how do you toe that line between corny and ironic versus serious?
Very carefully.
Because, I mean, I wrote ironic corny because, like I said, it's a simulation. He could just walk up and be like, I know this isn't going to, so I can say, let's dance, and then do it, right? It's got a purpose. It's a little bit of levity.
Well, and Saul does have that side to him. You haven't seen Omega Halo yet, but
right.
If he is feeling just a little bit laid back enough, he can make a quip.
Yeah.
And in Generation later on, when in the very last episode at the beginning where Saul takes out the rocket launcher and Christian, the explosives specialist, says, "How come you get the rockets and not me?" And Saul says, "Can't I have a little fun for once, Christian?" Yeah. So he does have a bit of that side to him. It just doesn't come out a lot because he's busy saving the world.
Universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sometimes you throw in corny lines on purpose because it needs to be a corny line there to make the scene feel like it's supposed to.
Sure.
And I thought you did a pretty good job of that throughout the thing because Christian and who's the other one? Jake.
Yeah.
They're always dicking around with each other. Right? They're always going back and forth.
Yeah.
Why didn't Saul go for the stealth kill though?
When I don't think he had to.
Okay.
Now he can do it when needed, as he proves throughout later on. But again, it was a simulation.
Yeah.
He was going for a speed record, which didn't start until he killed the first one anyway.
Gotcha. Okay, so going back to like the mechanics of the game, how much room does the game give you to like tinker?
A lot. That's why I use Halo. You got the Forge map editor, you got the theater mode, you got custom games which allow you to alter player stats, damage, stuff like that. Halo is infinitely flexible.
That was my next question. So can you adjust how hard or easy it is to like kill a character?
I can do anything I fucking want. Halo makes you a god.
I didn't know if it was like that. You have 1 hit point, or if it was just mostly editing.
No,
I sat here and shot this guy for 5 minutes, but then
so I've done that. I've done that before.
Yeah.
Like there are points where if I want to make a really quick kill, like I usually leave shields on for a battle scene. So usually have your weapon and go poof, poof, poof,
Yeah,
shields go down, and then the headshot.
Okay.
If I want to make it a real quick kill, I'll just cut from them shooting once to a reverse shot of the guy dying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe that bullet punched through his shields all the way.
Okay, so how do the camera angles work on this? Do you have just like cameras everywhere? Or is it just
okay? So
the whole
what
thing
works
is recording and you can move it?
Yeah, how it works in theater is you start out, you open the film and it puts you back in and plays the data back, pretty much exactly how it was played in a game. Halo 5 epically failed at that thanks to cloud services, but previously it was all saved on the hard drive, so there were no problems in replaying the game data. So it starts out in your first person view, just like you would in a real game, but then you can hit pause and you freeze. You can hit Y and the camera, instead of being the first person view, switches to an over the shoulder third person view. If you hit Y again, the camera detaches from the character and you can fly it around.
Okay.
Like you would.
And that's how you get like the running at it shots.
Mm-hmm. You can zoom in, you can fast forward, stuff like that. And then I usually just hit record and then just capture the angles and splice the sections I want out later.
Because you have that many people going on.
Right.
Okay.
Now the nice thing is that instead of having, because you can't have multiple cameras in theater mode, like you would in real life to capture different angles of something happening. Like if I wanted to capture a couple different angles of like a warthog jumping off a cliff and landing, if I wanted to capture different angles of that landing, I only have the one camera, but I can stop, rewind, change angle, play it again, stop, rewind, play it again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like try to recreate that.
Exactly.
Jump. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Ooh, my leg's falling asleep.
And that's the kind of thinking. It doesn't take much consideration, but somebody put that consideration into it, right? And I don't understand why they can't just do that for a lot of different games.
I mean, I'm sure if Halo 5 was that easy to break in this new generation, it probably requires a lot more work than developers are willing to put time into, have the time to put into, and have the money and people to put into.
Yeah, I guess it's like a cost benefit analysis for them. Like,
I mean, everything
do we put extra time and effort into this?
And usually it goes
when
to
it doesn't benefit.
Put it into the multiplayer, because the multiplayer is what sustains the game, and now with microtransactions generates the cash revenue.
Right. Okay, so to be a Spartan, do you already have to possess like some sort of specific genetic marker?
Well, yeah, the Spartan 2s and 3s, which were the ones kidnapped as children, they did.
Okay.
That is why they were selected out, because they had exceptional test results and the right genetic makeup to make them compatible for the augmentations. And even then, it wasn't perfect. I want to say several Spartan 2s died during the augmentation procedure, and others remained so fucked up. There were 2 of them that had to live in tanks for the rest of their lives.
What kind of augmentation are we talking?
So faster reaction speed, heightened bone density, and enhanced strength. Basically, you get
adamantium bones.
Pretty much, you become
healing factor.
You become not quite and no claws. This isn't Weapon X.
You already said claws.
Yeah. No, I didn't. But it basically just turns you into a superhuman.
Yeah.
It take everything that we are and times it by 50.
Right.
And for most of them, it worked out. And you had 13-year-old kids looking like they were 20.
Yeah. And
so on and so forth. And they get like 6-7 feet tall and then 8 feet in the armor.
Right.
So very intimidating, but it wasn't always successful. Now, the later programs, the Spartan 3s and then my Spartan 4s did it a little better. But the 2s were highly experimental.
Right. And
there were casualties, and yeah, it just didn't work out for everybody. Now, the Spartan 4s, my 6, Saul and the gang, they were chosen because they were compatible with what augmentations were available, and they had exceptional combat records. They weren't children.
Right.
So they were
like already Marines who got chosen for the Super Soldier program.
Right.
Gotcha.
Marines, orbital drop shop troopers, Army Rangers, stuff like that.
Yeah, just the best in their field.
Right.
So can they leave the armor? Can they get out of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't show it.
Right, I know that. I just didn't know if
the armor, the Mjolnir armor is several different pieces all attached to a body glove.
Okay.
So yes, it can be removed and usually is when not in combat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my next question was be, how do they shit if they couldn't?
I believe there's a system.
Oh, so like...
Well, I know there's a pee system. So if you have to pee, it'll recycle it back into fluids. I don't know about shit, though.
That'd be a whole different system.
They've never answered that. So
just drops out the back.
They have a... Well, if you think of how do they drink, too, I saw an animation where Chief presses a button on his visor in his mouth. The mouthpiece just... And he puts in a straw.
I'm sure that's how it would go.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wouldn't be, like an astronaut's helmet where it's already in there.
Oh, yeah. Goldfish reminds us Spartan 3s weren't kidnapped. They agreed to it after being orphaned by the Covenant, which is actually, I'll be talking a little bit about that in my upcoming series, Brotherhood War, because the main character, Zach, is a Spartan 3.
Okay.
Talk about Harper. We will. I bet you have some questions about Harper.
I fucking hated Harper, and we're not going to talk about it.
Ooh, Mega won't like that. That's his voice actor. Nah, he's kidding, Mega.
Okay, so why Gabe was a huge running theme throughout this whole thing. Why does he feel that he is able to judge people?
I think because he has to. Like, okay, so they explained he saw a fuck ton of people die.
I get that.
But he's the one who survived among them. So maybe now he feels like he has to, if he's going to help save humanity, he needs a team that he will be able to help keep alive. And if he feels that people aren't up to snuff, he's going to call them out on it. So either they get better or they get removed for somebody better.
Right. Yeah, it just seemed like he had really taken it upon himself to, instead of sit back and see how things play out during training, which I know we pick up at like the tail end of training.
Yeah.
But still, he just walks up to people and is like, hey, you need to do this.
Well, if you had a fuck ton amount of crippling survivor's guilt, wouldn't you want to be more proactive about it too, instead of letting it happen again?
I think I'd probably be more passive aggressive.
Catherine, I'm not judging you, but you could shape the fuck up or something. Your choice, though. You don't have to. I'm not ordering you.
I mean, if I were gonna do it, then
I would do it this way. But hey, you do your thing.
Yeah, not everybody has to do it right. So, isn't that a flaw in himself that he's also ignoring?
Probably,
because he's pointing out all these people. This person doesn't communicate. These people fuck around too much. These guys don't have our backs. But he never looks and says, "I'm too fucking judgy." Instead of, I need to work with these people.
Because judgy people never notice.
Yeah.
They're too busy judging.
But he could also take that time and say, hey, okay, this is what we need to practice in all these training sessions.
But that's why he wasn't the leader.
That is. I agree.
Gabe was put on the team because he was an exceptional soldier, a survivalist, and had very good close combat skills. Yeah. He was not the leader.
It just seems like with lives on the line, constructive criticism would be more beneficial to the team not dying.
Yeah. No, and you're right. That's why Saul called him out on it.
Yeah.
Because Saul was able to offer all of them some constructive criticism, but Gabe that was not one of his strengths.
Right. So in that first episode, and some of these, I just wrote questions, so we're going to have to
the chat for Mega.
We're going to have to figure out. Sorry, guys. No tears. So we're going to have to kind of piece together where these things are. I don't have time codes.
No, it's good.
On any of this.
I'll know.
So you come up over a hill and you start attacking. And then later on you blow up the Banshee. Why not blow up the Banshee first and then move in?
I think that was the plan. But Banshees are, at least in Halo 2 Anniversary, which is what we were playing, and should be in the actual physics of the game, like physics of the real world, not the game. They are weak to small arms fire in the game for balancing. But realistically, they would be more immune to small arms fire, which leaves the guy with the rocket launcher and the guy in the LAAG turret on the Warthog to take them out. Now, Banshees can dodge rockets by flipping, which is common Halo knowledge that you would not possess, so that makes some sense. And the LAAG was focused on the ghosts, which would have torn apart the Warthog, the ghosts being the little hovercraft vehicles. So I think the idea was to take out the Banshee first. It just was difficult.
Okay. So it's just one of those scenes that kind of had to go that way.
Yeah.
All right. So without any military training, how do you choreograph battles so that they make some sort of military sense?
Sometimes not very fucking well.
I mean, I don't know if they make military sense as somebody who's got zero experience in the military.
I've known some people in the military and asked them about it. Other than that, movies, documentaries, reading
just
about
what
it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, what makes sense, and what the little bit that I do know, and I just try to make it work. I'm sure I would be torn apart by somebody who has been in the military, but again, this is just a fun thing to do. But at least it's not completely bullshit. Like they actually performed a pincer move coming in from all three sides using an armored vehicle, height, and sniper cover.
Right.
I know at least a little bit about that. I think.
So one thing that kind of made me giggle throughout the entire thing is how all of them have to look combat ready.
Mm-hmm.
So even whenever you guys are just like walking, it's always like,
and some of the games are not as good as that as Halo 2 Anniversary was. So in Halo 2 Anniversary, the way you get weaponless is you pick up an energy sword, and that puts you into this position. And you hit stuff with the sword until the battery drains and goes away, and you just see the hilt there. And then you lower your weapons, and the animation makes you do this. Halo 5 and Halo 3 don't have a weapon lowering animation for the energy sword. So if you do that, you're stuck with this.
And then you get a lot of sexual harassment suits and just putting your finger in people's masks.
And it looks like everybody's playing football. So for others, those games, I will simply resort to lowering a pistol. Yeah, that looks a lot better. You'll see less of that in Brotherhood War, but what you will see is everyone armed with a Magnum all the time. I mean, it should
just walk around with hot firearms.
I mean, it is Halo. They're walking around in armor, in full fucking 2-ton body armor. Why can't they just have a pistol?
It is funny that with the popularity that Machinima's had, you would think they would have had an at ease button.
I mean, again, most of them do. It's just a lot of those, up until recently, you weren't able to use them online due to exploitation glitches.
Right.
So you would have had to system link, 2 consoles together just to get 8 people, which is what I did for Odd Man Out Season 1 and Season 2. Luckily, in the latest games, they've allowed you to, put your weapons down. It's just the animation isn't always great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they do what they can.
All right, so one thing I am going to call you out on is whenever Saul gets appointed as number 1, and then he's talking to everybody, he says, there is no hierarchy, we're a team. But then he goes, you're my number 2. There's no number 1, but you're my number 2.
Yeah. Oh, and Clumsy guy's here. Hey, Clumsy. Yeah, not my greatest scripting moment, but I think what he was trying to say was you need a second in command in battle, but at the same time, it also means anyone can come to Saul for help. Yeah, no,
I get what it was. Yeah. It was just,
but it is
because I was listening and I was like, wait. So that does bring me up to my this was done a while ago,
about coming up on 4 years
ago. In
ago.
your opinion, how has your writing improved over time?
Hopefully a lot. Maybe not as much as I think it has.
I mean, do you catch stuff like that as you're writing it?
Okay. Yeah, I also make a lot more edits in post now. Mega will tell you, I finished the Brotherhood War script months ago, but I literally just a couple days ago rewrote a scene to put in place of another scene because I was like, you know what, this dialogue kind of sucks. Right. So I'm more open to doing that now than I was 4 years ago. Thank God.
Yeah. Now
which is something everybody should do, by the way, if you're planning on writing. Edit your scripts after they're done. Just do it. Yeah. It's worth it.
Now this next question, I write these as I go along, so some of them. The comments Gabe has about 04 and 05, they're valid.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's bringing up to a CO is the right thing.
Correct.
But then immediately after I write this, I see that he went to
Harper.
Yeah.
Well, so Gabe went to Saul expecting results.
Didn't get what he wanted.
And went to Saul's CO. I mean,
Right.
to Gabe getting it was much better dialogue. He went to Harper because to Gabe getting these results could be life or death for everybody.
Yeah.
So he was really trying hard. He was in the right spot in his mind. He just he wasn't going about it the right way. Yeah.
So is the flaw in Saul that he's allowing this behavior, or is it in Gabe for just being a D-bag looking for faults?
Oh, both. I mean, Saul wasn't.
He's a new leader.
Yeah, Saul. It was his first time leading, and he was a natural, but that doesn't mean he was great right off the bat.
Right.
So they both had stuff to work on, which was kind of the point of Generation.
Right.
Or one of the points anyway.
You also left us with a pretty nice cliffhanger.
Yeah, Thalashi.
Yeah, I really liked how you would do that. You'd have an entire episode with none of the elite in there, and then the last 20 seconds, you'd get to see him.
Yeah.
So it'd give you a taste.
And his voice is fucking awesome.
It'd give you a taste, but you're also your world building, your character building. You're doing a lot to build up the story before just diving into action.
Right.
Which I appreciate, especially as somebody who needs that, who needs kind of the, foundation built before you just drop me in.
Well, as somebody who's lived through the Michael Bay era of Transformers, you learn a few lessons from watching that shit.
Yeah.
World's the most important thing.
Right.
Without that, you got nothing.
And explosions.
Explosions are nice.
Explosions.
Okay, Mr. Bay, can we move on?
All right. We're now getting into episode
2. All right.
So,
after
40 minutes?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So at this point, the Earth is an occupied territory, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Technically space, because the elite fleet of like 5 fucking ships has been holding position in Earth space for 5 years now. See, what happened at the end of the Human Covenant War left the UNSC shredded. And in the Prime timeline, they had enough time to recuperate. But in the Legacy timeline, the shipmaster did not leave them that time and has been bombarding them, like not enough to kill them because he doesn't have those resources either, but enough to keep them kind of at the same level for 4 years now. Yeah. So he's occupying that territory in space and sending troops to the ground. The humans don't have enough powerful ships to repel him until Omega Halo comes along. That's still a few months away in the timeline. But they need Spartans to win on the ground, which is where the Spartans come in. Okay, so is it like, okay, we have a truce, and you guys are good to stay wherever you're at? Oh, God, no, they were fighting the entire time.
Or is this a splinter group coming through with Thalashi?
Yeah, so
I didn't know if there was because I think you had mentioned like a truce.
There was a truce between humanity and the Sangheili, the elites. But there were some on both sides who thought we should keep fighting. And Thalashi and the Shipmaster, which this is the Shipmaster's group, you'll meet him in Omega Halo.
Right.
He's Thalashi's master. They were one of the groups who believed that humanity should be totally eradicated because that's what their religion in the Covenant taught them. They were indoctrinated into that. So they came back and effectively deadlocked Earth for 4 years.
What do they ever talk about the population of the elite?
Not really. Like, we don't get a whole lot of info on it in the main timeline.
I just didn't know if they reproduced bugs. Where
no, they're much closer to us. They're
billions
reptiles.
And billions.
No, not those are grunts. That's another species.
Okay,
they're the little ones in Halo.
Gotcha. All right,
with the squeaky voices. No,
Okay.
they reproduce a fuck ton. Elites are more like us, I think.
Okay.
They have like a single egg of family, stuff like that. I think. I'm no eliteologist.
Right.
But
so how many Spartans are there?
Like all together?
Yeah, total.
Like in all groups.
Yes.
Completely unknown, like for a solid number. But in the primary timeline, you have a small number of Spartan 2s. The gray team. Gray team is out there. That's 3. Red team is out there on the Spirit of Fire and Hibernation until Halo Wars 2. That's 3 more. Master Chief, 5. Blue team, another 3, of course. Blue team, very important. And have completely vanished in the Spartan Legacy because story reasons. You got a small number of headhunters for the Spartan 3s. I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe. Spartan in universe.
Really?
Yeah, the Spartan 3s.
So it's not like an army.
No, fuck no. The Spartan 3s are the Spartan 2s and 3s are commandos.
Okay, so these guys are like taking on the universe.
Pretty much. Okay, so the original Spartan 2 company went from overtime from conscription to finalization from hundreds to like a number in the 50s or 70s or something like that. There wasn't a lot. The Spartan 3s were made to be big batchers that were more expendable. They had 300 conscripts for Alpha Company. Most of them made it through and then immediately died on one mission.
Yeah.
Same thing for Beta Company. And then Gamma Company, read Ghost of Onyx, shit happened while they were being made.
Okay.
But they were up for the same thing.
Right.
Most Spartans died because they were the ones who had to handle the big missions during the Human Covenant War. And same thing happened in Generations. Or fuck, I said it. It's Generation. Everyone gets it confused with Star Trek Generations, so they call it Generations. It's Generation. There's a reason. It is important why it's called Generation.
So you guys storm the base, and one of my favorite scenes, Jake kills a dude with his elbow.
Yeah. Well, remember, Spartans are stupidly fucking
He just
strong.
came up, elbow checked him.
Well, okay, so in later games, there are the assassinations, which if you go up and hold the melee button behind somebody, you perform like a kill move where you stab them with a knife or something. But Halo 2 Anniversary didn't have that because it was an anniversary of Halo 2, which also did not have that.
Yeah.
So, but in the game mechanics, a blow to the back is an instant kill.
Gotcha.
The way I explain it is Spartans are stupidly fucking strong and just he broke his fucking spine.
Blew through his shield and everything.
Spartans are very strong.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I also enjoy how you home aloned the base for the incoming enemy.
I thought that was pretty cool. That's an example of what Forge can do.
Yeah.
You can move items around and shit. Halo 5 is much more powerful. All 50 plus sets for Brotherhood War are created from scratch.
Right.
In Halo 5, but Halo 2 had some already really good pre-existing maps, which is primarily what I used except for the last 3 episodes.
Right. So you guys took over this base, and then you had another group coming in that you had to worry about. Do the elites not communicate with each other?
No, they do, just slowly.
Okay.
Their tech was probably old and failing, and their troops spread extremely thin because they haven't gotten reinforcements in 4 years.
Yeah. How far out of the galaxy are they coming?
I don't really know exactly where Sang Helios is, but they came all in one group.
And they fly through like almost
slip
wormholes.
space. Yeah.
Okay.
So slip space takes much less time than obviously slower than light travel, because it's FTL.
Right.
But it still can take like a week or 2. But once they showed up, that was it.
Right.
Like the shipmaster took his assault carrier, 2 more cruisers, and a couple corvettes. Went there, and that was it for 4 years.
Right.
So he had to really work that.
So
luckily, we were very weak.
Whenever you're doing these battle scenes, you said you can tinker a lot. Do you just put their attack way down and then your health way up?
No, I just mostly tell them to miss.
Okay, so
because when you alter the game settings, primarily it goes to all players.
Gotcha.
So if I made my health high, it would make theirs high as well.
So you have people playing like the elite,
yeah,
shooting at you,
yeah,
and then dying,
yeah. We call it stormtrooper aim.
Gotcha. Just general directions.
As long as it looks good.
Yeah.
You know, bullets flying. They're
hit you a
they're
few
shooting.
times.
Yeah.
Because you can see the
just
shield.
Make sure not
up.
to kill us,
right.
Which does happen.
Yeah. So that was my next. How many times do you die shooting some of these? Scenes?
There was, I think, we counted 25 kills in the bloopers. Go watch the bloopers.
Yeah,
if you haven't.
Yeah, I did.
There's 25 kills. I think were what was captured.
Yeah.
It wasn't probably all of them, but it was close.
Yeah. How much ad-libbing do you allow in your
lines?
Stories?
As much as they want to do, as long as it stays within the plot line. But
doesn't break character.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of actors coming up with their own stuff.
Yeah.
Which has been happening a little bit more and more lately.
It comes off as more natural.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the times it's more intelligent than anything I've actually written.
Yes.
So
so you have this scene that I really liked where the tank blows an elite up, and his body flies right into the camera.
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose, or did it just happen to?
No, I mean, sometimes I'll you can observe a scene and then go, rewind. I want to get it from here.
Yeah.
And then you can play again and okay, that worked really well, or okay, maybe that didn't work so well. I should rewind and adjust angles. So yeah, that would be a time where I was like, you know what, if we put the camera here and the body flies over, that'll look really cool.
Yeah, I really like that. I thought I didn't know if you had set up the camera and then it happened. You're like, sweet, we're going with that.
That does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Mostly when stuff is coming in from the side of a shot, sometimes it'll just work out really fucking well.
Right.
But most of the time it's intentional.
Yeah, and like I said with the last episode, I really like these little tiny scenes at the end with the main bads. I think it's a great way to have a cliffhanger, but it also gets you set up for the next episode, and it does what a cliffhanger is supposed to do.
Right.
It doesn't make you upset that it's over, but it does make you want to watch more of it.
Right.
So yeah, I think that was excellent how you kind of work those in, because you don't want Thalassy being in every single battle.
Right.
Because then you're like, how often is this dude gonna fucking escape?
Exactly.
So
no, well, and I knew that because of the 5-episode construct, these would be coming out in a stage of weeks. So I wanted to make sure people were tuning in again. So that's how you do it.
So at the beginning of episode 3, did you ever watch a movie called, was it Hardcore Henry?
Never heard of it.
It's a movie where this dude's getting augmentation done, and he doesn't have any memory of it. He just wakes up and he's got somebody screwing on his leg. And he's got all these
Inspector Gadget?
Yeah. It's the prequel to Inspector Gadget.
Wonderful.
But no, the whole thing is shot from first person.
Okay.
And there's some corny parts, but it's a pretty good movie for what it was. I got that vibe a lot at the beginning of episode 3.
First person shots, I put them pretty much only in the Spartan Legacy to further tie it in with Halo. A lot of people have praised the Spartan Legacy for it being my own version of a Halo campaign.
Right.
Because if you notice it, a lot of it, especially the last half of Generation, a lot of it plays out like a game. Some of it's from first person and they advance through different stages and areas, killing everything there and moving on.
Yeah.
People seem to like that, so I kept doing it.
Yeah, it did seem like something that picked up in episode 3. You shot a lot of episode 3 in first person.
Yeah, because there were some really cool shots from first person.
Well, yeah, especially whenever you're running through the halls. It's a very great way to do it. Did you ever watch Doom?
Yeah.
So they have that
entire
whole
sequence
scene at the very end where it's he shoots himself up, looks in the mirror, and then it goes first person throughout the whole thing. Excellent.
Yeah.
It was excellent. How do you pick your musical scores?
By production, usually. Spartan Legacy is very easy because I'm sticking only with Halo music. That's not just from the games. It could be from some of the mini films or the smaller games or stuff like that. But
they just have a catalog you can choose from.
Pretty much. Okay. Now, I've listened to it extensively, and that allows me to pick which tracks I want to use, because when I'm listening to the music, I'm actually thinking up the scene in my head before I write it.
Yeah.
Now, as far as which games I'll pick, you've got the Bungie era music and the 343 era music, and those correlate very well with the games that they were used with. So in a generation, I used primarily Halo 1 and Halo 2 anniversary music. Mm-hmm. Even I could have used Halo 3 music, but Halo 3 music's more of a finale oriented, so I saved that for Omega Halo.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was just you had a wide variety, and they were all. I didn't know if you had to go hunt for your own or if they had a catalog for you.
Yeah, they released the soundtracks on disc, but I can just YouTube to MP3 all of them,
right,
or get them on iTunes.
Yeah, I was very disappointed at how little Run DMC you had. So if you're taking suggestions,
copy that.
Little Beastie Boys thrown in there, I think would
definitely. Just because I'm J.J. Abrams and I want to put fucking Beastie Boys in Star Trek.
I'm sure you won't have to pay anybody for that either.
No, I never had to yet. Just a slight. They just run ads on my videos. That's fine. They're allowed to. I use their music.
How much damage can a Spartan's armor take?
Depends. How much does the plot require?
Okay, so I mean, not necessarily in your story.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Really?
I mean, not really. So, in universe, the later models, like the Mark 6, will have, and then the Gen 2, which is used in Halo 4 and 5, will have your energy shielding, which is reverse engineered Covenant tech. Once that burns out, you have a thick armor plating, and then the gel layer, and then your undersuit, and then you.
Yeah.
In the actual universe, plasma, which the Covenant uses, is stupidly effective at punching through all of that.
Right.
It's just that that's all we can pack on, because as much as the armor can carry. Don't get me wrong, you would want to be wearing a full suit of Mjolnir armor compared to a standard Marine BDU, but the only reason that the elites and stuff don't win all the time in the game is for game balancing.
Yeah.
Like, you can see a Marine in game get shot with a plasma bolt and recover. If you were shot with a fucking plasma bolt, the heat of a superheated sun to one area, it's going to cauterize, you are going to burn, and it's going to fucking hurt if you don't go into shock, which you probably will. And that's going to cause massive internal organ damage. You're going to suffer from organ failure. You're going to fucking die.
Right.
Plasma burns are almost, as I understand it, almost impossible to recover from. Mm-hmm. So the Spartan armor can take a lot of damage, but that's only a lot of damage compared to the regular suit that everyone else wears.
Gotcha.
In the first Halo book, before the Spartans had shields, they still had the Mark IV armor, which didn't have shields on it. It was just a regular gel layer. The first Spartan casualty was Samuel, and he had to stay behind on a Covenant ship that they boarded because he took one shot to the gut, and it breached his suit, and he couldn't get off into the vacuum.
Jeez.
One shot from a fucking little plasma pistol. The little green ones that they carry, that was enough to take out a Spartan. The Covenant were terrifying.
So does that mean they're just that bad at shooting?
Like in the series?
If one bolt can take you out. Mm-hmm. They shoot a lot.
Well, now we have shielding and slightly better armor.
Okay.
The shielding can recharge. If you wait down enough, it'll cool down and recycle the shields and recreate that energy barrier.
Okay.
But the only reason that really they survive as much plasma fire as they do in the series is because for the same reason that Luke survives in Star Wars. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean that was my question. I didn't know if they were plasma or if it was some sort of energy bolt.
It's the same thing.
So
it's just not a laser for the most part. It's an actual superheated, magnetically guided bolt of boiling hot plasma.
Right. Okay, so the action focus of this episode was extremely satisfying.
Yeah.
I believe this is one of the many times we get to see like you get in the Warthog and you drive through, which you also did first person on that. So that was a nice touch. Yeah, it was just all of the scenes kind of came together. It flowed. It wasn't like a oh, you know what? We need to have this, so let's have it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It made sense that they got on the Warthog. It made
Mhm.
sense that they drove through the map that you had set up.
Mhm.
It was just all of it was very well done.
Thank you.
I really appreciated. You pack a lot into a story, but you're not just putting stuff in for the sake of it.
Right.
At least that's what it feels like. You might be. I don't know. But just go.
Sometimes I'm not sure either, but
Just
it seems
go
to be
with-
working out.
So after you flip the Warthog, those dudes fucked you up.
Yeah.
Whenever they punched you, I don't know if this was just the mechanics of the game, but
Mhm.
they hit you, and like your character's head did one
Yeah.
of those.
Well, okay, so that's just animation.
okay.
And sometimes the animation can be a little buggy, but I believe that was the way to be intended. Because remember, even though you still have shields, that is physically impacting on you.
Right.
So that's gonna knock you back a bit.
Yeah, it was just kind of funny how, they actually knocked your head back.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know if that was like, okay, they added a lot into this if they're allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
Or if it was just a bug.
No, that's just the way they animate. Halo
Yeah.
usually has exceptional animations.
Right.
From Reach onwards. Halo, that was when they started using mocap. Halo 3's wasn't great.
Kron
is teabagging cannon. What does that mean, Halo Hunter?
Well, obviously somebody's getting teabagged.
I guess. I'm not shitting on him. I'm really not. If that's what you mean. You'll have to tell me what you mean.
So the Elite have different armor. It's different shapes. It's different colors. It's each one has their
Mhm.
own.
There's
Just-
a ranking to that.
Oh, okay. So it does have some sort of significance.
Yeah. The blue ones are the miners.
Okay.
They're the newest soldiers, the ones who have not achieved honor in combat, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Reds are the majors, the equivalent to our sergeants, lieutenants, whatever. They're the ones who have killed some and they've served a while. And then
Okay.
you got the zealots who are in gold. And they get the best weaponry. They're expert battlefield commanders. They've killed lots of enemies and they've achieved a high amount of honor.
Yeah.
And there's a couple in there, which I don't think we saw. There's ones in black armor with active camouflage. That's your spec ops,
Yeah.
stealth unit, stuff like that.
So my next note in here just says Fast and Furious Halo Drift.
Because of the Warthogs, is that right?
I'm guessing that's
Yeah.
what it was.
I love Warthog scenes.
Yeah.
Like-
it's such a cool vehicle.
Yeah, the Warthog is quintessential Halo. It's a Jeep with a big fucking gun on the back.
Yeah.
And the gun can be multiple types. As you saw, there's the chain gun, and then I also had the Gauss cannon, which charged up that little bolt and pew, that's a tank killer.
Okay.
There's another type in the later games, the missile Warthog, which is exactly as awesome as it sounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come humans haven't developed plasma weaponry?
Just haven't yet. I mean,
They couldn't reverse engineer.
I think a lot of them tried. Like we reverse engineered the shield technology for the armor from jackal shields. Jackals were the bird-like ones in the games who used the big wrist-mounted ones.
Mhm.
That's where we got the shields from. We did manage to reverse engineer plasma technology into some. In Halo Wars, there's the Rhino tank, which fires a superheated bolt of plasma, but we haven't gotten it down to like personal defense weapons yet. The only energy-based weapon I think we have right now is the Spartan laser, which didn't appear in this one.
Well, and I would assume it's because this has been continual warfare.
Well, yeah, not only that, but the Covenant has been piggybacking off Forerunner tech.
Uh-huh.
The Forerunners, of course, being equivalents of gods.
Right.
So Covenant don't invent; they just repurpose.
Gotcha.
So they went around digging up, ancient Forerunner weapons and tech and reverse engineering it themselves. It's not as good,
Yeah.
but it's better than ours.
Gotcha. So is split jaw a racist term?
Yes,
Okay.
split jaw, squid head.
Do you think the two groups will ever come to a point where they can coexist and then they'll have the SJ word?
I sure fucking hope they're spared from that. God, whatever side you're on there, it's a mess.
Or do you think that the elite will hold the position of dominance, so all the racial slurs that they use for humans will have to be called that word?
I can't think of any elite racial slurs for humans.
Yeah, they just keep calling Saul demon.
Well, they call the Spartans demon.
Yeah.
Not us, just Spartans. Because to them, Spartans are demonic fucking entities, because all of a sudden there are these humans who are much taller and much faster and much deadlier.
So is this a religious war?
It is to them.
Okay.
So the whole thing behind the full covenant that we fought for 25 years, the idea, which of course was a lie, but we'll get into that another time. The idea was that the Forerunners were the gods, and they wanted our extinction.
For what reason?
Again, it was a lie. The prophets, the leaders of the covenant, just told the rest of the covenant that it's because we're inferior and we're dirty and stuff like that. And we're not worthy to go on the great journey.
It just seemed really weird to spontaneously pick a beef with humans.
Well, that's because the real reason was because the prophets recognized that the prophets thought that the covenant were the ones slated to reclaim the galaxy and retake all the Forerunner technology that they left behind. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, we found this glyph and actually it's these human guys. But we can't tell the rest of the covenant that or we're going to lose all our power.
Gotcha.
Now, the shipmaster is the result of that indoctrination of humanity bad, Squid Man good.
Right. Yeah.
Pink Man bad. Pink Man bad. So, I mean, that's how religious hatred works. You know, you grow up thinking it. It is put into your brain over a large amount of time, and that's all you have left.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
They also call them crocodiles. Thank you, Mega. I didn't know that. Hey, tell me if you have any insults that elites call humans. I may have forgotten some.
Yeah. What are racist things that we call humans?
I'm gonna say the N-word. No, not really.
They respected me for it, Lois. Trust me, they will not.
No.
Okay, so the environment change was very refreshing in this episode. And it's the same thing with like Star Wars or anything like that. Part of the reason I really loved Rogue One was because
environments.
Yeah, well, that and the final battle scene is just on a beach. It wasn't dark. It wasn't dirty.
It was brightly lit and really fucking cool.
It's almost like some
vermin. They did call us vermin. Okay. Thank you, Mega.
Infidels.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's almost like some people think fights have to be in like dark, gritty locations.
Well, yeah, because that's what like the Dark Knight told them.
Right.
Or other dark, edgy movies. I don't know.
So episode 4.
Yeah.
Again, Gabe's a dick, but he's not wrong. He's still harping on all of this stuff.
It was also revealed at the beginning here how much of a fatalist he's become.
Yes.
We are not Spartans.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very powerful moment.
Yeah, he ends up screaming all that. We're not Spartans. He essentially just thinks he's cannon fodder. Well, and once
he thinks they're going to fail because everyone else he's seen has failed before him.
Once we really start,
brutes would call
meat.
Brutes were the big ape ones, and they did eat us. They'd eat anything, really.
So you kind of start seeing this, and I'll bring it up here in the next few. This episode and episode 5, everybody's got a little bit of a touch of the fatalism.
Yeah.
Which I get why, but Gabe seems to be taking it the most serious. So we already talked about, why they hate humans. That was not something I previously knew. I also didn't remember that I had written it right here, so I wouldn't have asked that.
Well, two birds.
So they're sitting around, the elite are sitting around talking, I believe. And then all of a sudden the power goes out.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good timing, right?
Yeah. Spartan timing.
That's right. It's like they're saying that, no, wait until somebody mentions us coming there, and then we'll turn off the power. Now.
Chief said we make our own luck regarding Spartans, so I think that's true.
One of your other great lines, other than this isn't a hierarchy, you're my number 2, is when he's like, I'll never tell you. And then he says, I'll kill you. And then the elite goes, okay, don't kill me. I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he tells them, please kill me before they do.
Yeah.
So like, wait, what?
You missed the part where Saul put the hurt on him, though.
No, I saw that.
Yeah, I know.
But it was just funny. It's like, wait, no. Kill me.
Yeah. Well, okay, so they're a lot, obviously saying Haley culture being extremely honor-based.
Yeah.
If you lose your honor, especially as a field commander, the one in gold armor was, you're worth nothing. You're worth more than nothing.
Right. Yeah, we see a lot of that.
If you surrender to the enemy and live, you are dog shit.
Well, and that was the thing, too. If he had a chance to kill himself, I'm sure he would have.
Yeah. He would commit seppuku.
Oh, man, don't even get me started on Japanese culture. I fucking love it.
Fall upon your sword.
I had a book that I lent to a friend, and then he lent it to another. So it's just like traveling the world now. But it was called the Bushido Code.
Yeah.
And those dudes had holding a rice bowl down to a science.
Yeah. I don't know why.
My favorite one was, it's absolute control over every situation.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so when you hold a bowl of rice, you don't hold it like this. You don't hold it like this. You hold it with your thumb in there. So if you come around and you want to be a dick and you try to slap it out of my hand, I have firm control over it.
Okay, that's kind of badass. I get it.
Yeah, and so when me and my buddy are talking and some situation happens and we're like, dude, that's your Bushido bowl. You had absolute control over that situation.
Nice.
But yeah, the elite have a lot of that samurai mentality.
Yeah.
And that's going to come with religion and stuff like that because they're not just at war.
An honor caste and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're not at war to be at war.
And they were always like that. I think it got worse with the Covenant. But no, they are extremely samurai Japanese oriented. Even their homeworld reflects it.
Right.
Like they've got their architecture and stuff very Asian influenced.
Yeah, it's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
You should have watched the Duel short on Halo Legends. That you'd be like, oh yeah, this is anime with giant lizards, 4 mouse or 4 mandibles.
Do they show them without their armor and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, they even show a female.
Ooh.
There's no titties.
Is she hot?
Yeah.
Would you?
No.
Okay. I mean, if you weren't married, obviously.
Nah, still too scaly.
Some people would be into that. That's the thing, too, is if these two groups ever coexisted, how much crossover would there be?
None. This isn't fucking Star Trek or World of Warcraft. There's no genetic compatibility.
No, they wouldn't be breeding.
Oh, well.
You can still have fun.
I'm sure some of them would.
I mean, just think about it. 4 jaws. Okay.
Moving right on. Never going to burn that out of my head.
So why does Catherine always seem so down?
Because her fucking family is dead.
I mean, come on, though.
Her fucking family died. No, they were murdered. They were burned to a crisp on Reach.
Yeah, but that was like, what, months ago?
5 years?
Oh, even worse. You got other shit going on.
Yeah, I know, but some people get more fucked up. Like, I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Somebody would be into it. You've got to admit that. Somebody. There would be a market.
Anyway.
Just saying.
Anyway.
There would be a market. And you couldn't call it bestiality because that would be offensive to them. You're racist for thinking that it's gross, sir. Get both of you get woke. No. Both of you get woke.
Kink shaming is my kink.
And I can't kink shame you for that.
Anyway, so yeah, Catherine is down because you're seeing the start of her downward spiral. She progresses lower and lower as the series go on.
Jesus, it gets worse.
Yes, it gets so much worse. You need to go watch Omega Halo next.
I've watched some of it.
Okay, we'll watch the rest of it. But no, Catherine just doesn't handle it very well.
Right.
She handles it the only way she knows how to. Initially, shut down, block it out, and that's where she is right now. And the thing is, as soon as she starts coming back from it, like actually talking to like Christian and stuff,
yeah,
they die.
Yeah.
One of the big
spoiler
themes,
alerts, dude. Spoiler alerts.
We're talking about the fucking series they died in.
Yeah, but we haven't gotten to episode 5 yet.
It's 4 years old.
Spoiler alerts, sir.
I don't give spoiler alerts for past 6 months. What was I going to say? One of the big overarching like things, come on, dude. Big overarching
Adjectives.
Themes.
Okay.
Thank you. For the Spartan legacy is that war is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And it is bad. It is very bad.
Yeah, and okay, so I did watch some of Omega.
Mm-hmm.
And I had mentioned this to you after watching like the first episode or
Mhm.
something like that, that it might just be the person you have doing the acting,
Mhm.
but you can really feel just how grating this war has been on her.
Well, Carrie's very good at being dead, at acting dead. So props to her.
So that's a nice way to put it.
I think Kron wants you to watch it on stream. What do I want? What?
What are we
Bestiality? I hope not.
I can't stream that.
Yeah. No. Anyway.
I'm sure that's not what they're talking
I don't
about.
know what he's talking about.
We've had teabagging and
I think Kron wants you to watch. I'm Kron. Omega. Oh, no. No, we don't have that kind of time.
Okay.
He's gotta compile these lists. And for some reason, this takes. Welcome to Impromptu ASMR. Thank you for joining us. For some reason, this takes like 3 months. It's not because he's having a kid or anything, I guarantee it. His wife's definitely not pregnant.
Right. I'm also not working 2 jobs.
That too. Yeah, no.
So
He's not like me who can lay back and make machinimas.
I could if I wanted to.
You just have to quit your jobs and abort your baby.
At least one of them.
Mega Production says, Harper? Really, what did you think of Commander Harper?
We will get to that.
Okay,
sir.
okay. Because he kind of dies in episode 4. Spoilers!
Spoiler alert, dude. I haven't watched these yet. Okay, so if this were real life, because this is where you implement your big plan in episode 4.
Yeah.
If this were real life, what are the chances that this plan gets pulled off?
Which plan?
The plan where you guys storm that base and everything goes like it's supposed to. Because we see that it gets blown to shit and that you have to go in alone a couple times.
Episode 4?
Some bad stuff happens. Yeah, I believe that's what you're doing here.
Episode 4 is where Saul's in Tripoli.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is where Saul gets kidnapped in this episode.
Yeah.
So you're storming that base, though.
No, he's leaving it.
At the end.
At the end, yeah.
But you have to storm it before.
Well, okay, yeah, sure.
Because this was like your Hail Mary. You were supposed to get Thalashi here, but then he takes off.
No, that was the end of episode 3.
Okay.
Yeah, he's at the end of episode 3. They roll up to the 2 towers.
And
Thalashi's
then they're going
on top, and they
going
go in
to rescue him.
They go to the towers. Saul confronts Thalashi and is
Yeah.
immediately snatched away, and then we have episode 4.
Right. Okay. So yeah, now they're going to rescue. Maybe rescue.
They weren't. They were going to try, but they thought he was dead. But then it didn't matter because elites attacked the base anyway.
Right.
So now they're just holed up at the base, waiting for Saul to come and save them.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I just really fucked my own writing with that, didn't I? Ugh,
so
not kind.
I also think it's funny. Like I consider weird things while I watch these, as you might have noticed. But Earth is essentially a place
Yes, Earth is essentially a place.
The end, guys.
And
no, it's essentially a place now where if I'm a child and I walk through, say, Cairo, I'm going to stumble on a lot of weaponry that's just laying about.
most likely.
Because not only are you killing people, so there's corpses and weaponry, but I've seen you say, all right, let's go with the rocket launcher. And then you just chuck your gun.
Yeah.
You just chuck it on the ground.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Cairo was evacuated when the elites attacked.
But eventually, people will start migrating back.
Ooh, I should have made a side story about that. The aftermath of reliving in a war-torn area. Would there be like a weapons market? Would there be large amounts of gang violence?
Well, we've seen
there'd be poverty. There'd be shitty living conditions.
In the Justice League movie, or Batman versus Superman and shit like that. Those giant ships that were like killing the gravity.
Yeah.
They wrecked, and like kids were swimming out to these ships and like grabbing stuff. And then we saw it in Avengers.
Yeah.
All the Chitauri weaponries and shit like that.
Yeah.
People going out and just grabbing it. So, I mean, it has to happen.
Yeah.
Right? There'd be a huge market. People are going to run out. I know they evacuated, but people are also going to take advantage of that.
Mega, don't get excited. I don't know if I have time to produce any more shorts right now. I'll let you know.
You can just go to the store and buy some shorts.
He's the guy who he's written 2 shorts for the Spartan Legacy, Judgment, and I mean, I guess you kind of wrote Final Farewell, and then I rewrote it, but you came up with the original idea. And, 3, which I can't talk about right now because spoilers for Omega Halo.
All right. Harper's death. It was fucking rough, dude.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it, and I had to sit there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess the main thing was I never realized how much I enjoyed seeing Harper.
Mm-hmm.
I never realized how important the character was. Like
he was like a father to
not
Saul.
Just to the characters, but to like me watching. Because he was like a father to all of them.
Yeah.
Gabe's a dick, but he still loved him. All of them had their issues, but he still loved them, and he essentially raised them.
Yeah. As a team, he brought them together as a family.
So yeah, that was rough. And seeing the aftermath of that, seeing how all of them reacted, and of course Saul takes it all on his shoulders as like it's my fault. I'm gonna say that it's mostly Thalashi's fault.
Yeah, but people receive that different ways.
Right. I mean, obvious things are obvious. But, It was a good example of, even though it's obvious that it is obviously Thalashi's fault. Obvious. I'm just going to keep saying it because it keeps coming out of my mouth.
Not sound like a word now. Obvious.
It touches on how any normal person would act. Yeah. You've set up these Spartans, and Halo has set up these Spartans to be more than. Yeah. Right? They're giant supermen. And
Ist we not the Superman?
And then their dad dies.
Aryan Fuhrer Superman? Yahweh is the Superman. Super duper Superman. That's the Fuhrer's face. It's a Warner Brothers cartoon. No. Donald Duck is Disney?
Donald Duck is Disney.
It's a Disney cartoon from the 1940s. Anyway, I'm not spouting Nazi propaganda. It's just a ridiculously funny anti-Nazi propaganda film from Disney from 1940. And
now we're not funded.
Yeah. And there goes the monetization.
Yep.
Anyways, what were you saying? So the Spartan 4s are the first Spartans, successfully, the Spartan ones don't really count, to not have been raised from children. So when I made the Spartan 4s, the entire point was to show a more human Spartan, one more in touch with his humanity.
Yeah, I think you did a very good job of that. Obviously, it's kind of a trope that you always see, well, I'm going to take this on my shoulders and it's my fault. And, usually that can get kind of played out. But that's whenever it's just us.
Yeah.
Right. That's a human reaction.
Right.
And we haven't been attributing anything human to these people.
Right.
And this is
because we've seen them blow through armies of aliens, and
this is a very good reminder of they are human.
Yeah.
You know, from the outside, it's easy for us to say why would he think it was his fault?
Mm-hmm.
One, he got captured whenever they were going on a mission.
Yeah.
That they knew something like this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then why wouldn't they come try to rescue you? And why wouldn't everybody be attacked by the elite?
Mm-hmm.
They knew all of this was a possibility.
Right.
So why would he then blame himself? But
it's like he didn't get there in time.
Well, he's on the
By the time he got to the base, Thalassy was already there and had captured Harper and was literally just waiting for him.
Yeah. And he was on the inside, though.
Yeah.
From the outside, it's
always easy to judge from the outside.
Right. So again, I wrote this before I watched the rest of it.
Mm.
And I said, do we ever see Gabe's baggage? Like his friends dying or anything? Like, did they ever do a flashback or anything like that? But no.
No.
Obviously.
Well, I would have done something more for Gabe, except that after he finished up all his lines, his voice actor went AWOL. I haven't heard from him since right before Generation released.
Really?
Yeah. I send him a message on Skype like once a year saying, hey, man, if you're out there, I'm still thinking of you, but no response yet. I don't know what the thing is. Yeah. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Morgan, if you're out there watching this somehow, I hope you're okay.
Yeah. So,
it's very squeaky ceiling you got there.
Yeah, that's because I have dogs and a wife.
Oh, is Milo in?
Maybe.
Oh, he's such a good boy. I hope I see him. He's an orange kitty. He's so cute.
So whenever I watch something and somebody comes in that's new, I guess I have trust issues because immediately when I saw Gray, I was like, I don't know if I could trust this guy.
What do you mean you can't trust Commander Gray?
Yeah.
You can trust Commander Gray. There ain't nothing wrong with Kyle Gray.
Sounds like he smokes with cigarettes.
He smokes 40 packs a day, son.
How's that? Just open your little mouth vent.
Tea baggage.
Cigarette.
Tea baggage.
Tea baggage.
Tea bag baggage. Do we get to see Gabe's tea baggage?
Gotcha.
His balls.
Do you ever show Gabe's balls?
No.
Okay. Well, there's your answer, dude. Sorry. No Gabe balls.
No Gabe balls.
Yeah, Gray comes out in stark contrast to what Harper was.
Harper was nicer.
Gray's
more efficient.
Harper was calm. He was cool. He had a very soothing voice. Harper is not any of that.
You mean Gray?
Gray.
Gray's not any of that. No, he's not. He's Commander Gray.
He sounds like you that just did a bunch of acid and jumped in a DeLorean.
And then lived in the deep south. Actually, I can never get his accent to stay the fucking same for some reason because I'm bad at voice acting. When you go through Omega Halo, his accent becomes indeterminate kind of throughout.
Is that Italian?
No, it just switches off from like
Spanish now.
It switches off from like really deeply south to more just like if I was talking but with a throat inhibitor or something.
That's what you should do is just get one of those.
We did that for Tyler in Oddman Out season 2. He got a voice box when his throat was damaged. And Eric Johnson spent the first half of season 2 talking like this, and it was really fucking funny. He was like, hi, Joey. Joey's like, what the fuck?
Oh, God. So Cameron makes a good point in this section right here. If they ultimately win, what do they do?
Like after the war?
Yeah.
Do the next thing.
How do Spartans reassimilate?
Usually they don't. There's one Spartan 2 that managed to retire and start a family. The others just kept fighting.
Oh, that poor woman. Was she also a Spartan?
She was a Spartan. She managed to
Oh, she was a Spartan.
Yeah.
That poor man. Was he a Spartan?
No, probably not. But
So
they
he just boned She-Hulk.
if it works, she was Klingon. Oh yeah, Mega says the accent he chose for Harper is not his natural voice. That was I think that was your first voice role with me, wasn't it, Hugh? You were outstanding there. You surprised me greatly. He's quickly become one of my favorite voice actors. You're up there too, Tatsu.
Oh man,
I love all of you.
You just called one dude out above everybody. Huh?
No, I did not. It literally added an addendum.
So let's see if I can ruin Jacob's career.
Clumsy guy says broken pelvis. I'm about to end this man's whole career, but I'm not a rapper.
That's right.
Let me tell you something. Glasses, jacket, shirt man. Call me glasses, jacket, shirt man. Super hot fire. Call me super hot fire because I spit super hot fire.
Dude, I already told you. Dylon.
I thought it was Dylan.
It's Dylon.
It's pronounced Dylan, but okay.
I rhyme and I rip and I rhyme.
That's why I shit on company time. Come on, next one.
Yes. Okay. Why didn't Saul just let Catherine snipe Thalashi when she had every opportunity to snipe Thalashi? She's like, no, I'll take him.
Because it was personal.
Couldn't she just snipe him and then he runs up and like pees on him as he's dying or something?
No.
Snipe him. You always take the shot.
No. It was personal.
Is it because you can't animate urine on Halo?
I probably could if I tried hard enough and pulled it from the right angle. But also that's gross.
Well, again, kink shaming. So did whenever they were going into the bowels of this facility, did Saul tell Gabe to take lead because he secretly hoped that he would die?
No, he told Gabe to take lead because Gabe's the best one with the shotgun in a close quarters area.
And he hoped he would die. So,
no, he didn't.
Oh goodness. So I get that it's the mechanics of the game, but it made me giggle. It's like Gabe goes, is it you or Gabe that does it? He's like, here, take this gun.
Oh.
We're standing right this close. Take
Drops
this gun
on the floor.
And then he throws it on the floor and you have to pick it up. I just imagine in the real world. I want you to take this gun.
Fuck you. I should have done it better. I developed a technique. I just haven't been able to use it yet. So what you do is you have the characters walk up to each other and say, I want to give you a shotgun. Now you have a shotgun on your back out of camera angle and I have mine up here. I switch weapons to like a pistol or something. So the shotgun goes onto my back out of camera angle at the very same time you switch weapons so that you switch to the shotgun.
Yeah.
It works. I just haven't been able to use it yet because I haven't had any times where people trade weapons.
I want you to have this pin, Jacob.
Fucking asshole.
I literally had to stop and laugh for like 5 minutes because
You're obviously new to Machinima.
I just thought of the real world applications of it.
You want this? Fuck you. Pick it up.
You should
Pick up that can.
Shoot a live action movie, but shoot it like a machinima.
Oh my god. Okay, so instead of talking, they just have to stand here and slightly move their heads around, but the dialogue is overlaid with no mouth movement.
Yeah.
And for other scenes, they have to be raising their guns all the time when it's not filmed offline with more than 4 people.
And we always have to look like we want to fight each other.
And we have to be dressed in body armor all the time. And you have to use glitchy as fuck animation. So when you're running,
you have to run like you're really into it. Like there's a sassy song on.
Oh, and you have to breathe.
No, it's like
No, it's much slower in Halo, but you're just like.
Just that.
I've spent so much time looking at this.
That constant swaying. All right. So Thalashi keeps calling Saul demon, right? And we've kind of explained that.
Is the joke dead now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
What if it turns out the humans were the evil ones?
How so?
Like maybe they attacked first.
Well, Ender's Game.
Yeah.
Kinda
But
like
you've
that.
kind of told me that like there's more to the story that I hadn't had at that point.
Mm.
Would that
The
be
humans did not attack first.
right?
Humans were the victims in the Human Covenant War.
I didn't know if maybe like a serious question, because this comes about after humans started expanding throughout different places
Right.
in the galaxy and
Different
terraforming
systems, yeah.
and so I didn't know if maybe they had like stepped on some toes, went a little bit too far out.
The problem is that the first world, we'd settled several worlds, and some of them had Forerunner tech on them that either we hadn't found or we had found and the Office of Naval Intelligence was keeping secret.
Gotcha.
But the thing is, when the Covenant made first contact, it was on a world we called Harvest, where there was Forerunner tech buried,
Right.
and they came there. I think they found it or they detected something.
Energon.
It's been a while since I read Contact Harvest.
They detected Energon.
My favorite thing to say when insulting is, you know why you can call me grandpa? It's because everyone, including your mother, calls me daddy. That's disturbing. Anyway, so
That's a good one.
We were essentially treading on what they considered sacred ground or something like
but
that.
It seems like they had it out for us even before then.
Well,
because
there was
the Mormon tablets that they found.
There was an initial attempt at peace talk, and it did not last very long.
Because they spoke different languages?
No, I think it was because one of us...
We showed up and said, you look like a fucking lizard.
I think they attacked us or something. I don't know. No, we didn't even see the elites until later in the war, like a couple of years in. It was the brutes first.
Well, that makes sense. You send your brutes in first. Jeez. All right, let's try diplomacy. You know that crazy guy we keep locked up in the jail cell? We'll send him.
The brute,
the one that we caught eating the family.
Yeah. The brutes weren't stupid. They were just more barbaric.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, like the leader of the banished or rogue faction, Atriox, extremely intelligent.
Let's send our Vikings.
Yeah.
To do peace talks.
Pretty much.
So they weren't putting a whole lot of stock into that.
No.
It could have been mostly a show of, if we cower to that, then maybe they can be easily taken over.
See, the way that the first two races of the Covenant were the Prophets and the Elites, and they spent years fighting over Covenant artifacts because they each had a religion around it, and they finally united and made the Covenant, and they absorbed all the other species first by kicking their asses, and then bringing them in if they recognize potential.
Yeah. All right, so Gabe finally gets his redemption moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he realizes, hey, you know, I should have been looking at this more as a family, less as a thing that I have to force into being what I want it to be. I actually made it more dangerous for my teammates. He realizes all of his wrongs,
mm-hmm.
and then it kills him.
Yep.
So correct me if I'm wrong, the moral of this entire story arc is don't ever change.
Stay golden, pony boy.
Or it will kill you.
I mean, I would say at least the moral with Gabe, if there is a moral, he survived by putting up his walls and stuff, and the second he let them down, he died.
Yeah.
But the reason he had to put up those walls in the first place is because of war.
Right. To be serious for a second, it was because a normal story would be, oh, he had his changing moment, and then he sacrificed his life so that this could, and then that just shows that he died happy. Well, no, it's kind of what you just said, that like war fucking sucks, and there's not always a good thing that happens. You know, Gabe got in touch with his feelings. Okay, but he died. If he hadn't have gotten in touch,
literally died saving somebody else.
Right, which is cool, but I mean, you lose sight of like what's going on around you if you try to be like soft and cuddly all the time, right? It is important. You have to be a team player. You have to be able to do things, and you have to have genuine care for the people around you. But you also can't just give up.
You can't be soft.
Right.
You have to be hard. Really hard.
And Saul was going to get him hard.
Absolutely.
He got soft for a second.
You could even say that Gabe was being too hard on Saul. We're fucking 12-year-olds, I swear. No. I mean, we are 12-year-olds, not we are in the act of. No, that's Epstein's business.
Oh goodness! Can they demonetize us so much?
It's already we have to pay
that
money.
We
for
have
the
to
stream.
pay them.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Drake, where's Jeffrey Epstein? No.
So then, after this, as if losing Harper wasn't enough, we finally see Gabe's not a dick,
mm-hmm.
and you kill both of them.
Yep.
And then you kill everyone else.
Except Catherine.
Yeah.
And Saul. Yeah.
Jesus.
War is fucking hell.
So what made you decide to kill?
They weren't in the sequels. No, really. I kind of wish I could have had them.
They wanted to negotiate for better contracts.
This was pointed, I think a buddy of mine, Simon, pointed out to me a little while ago. Exposed. Fuck you, clumsy. You know what I meant. No, I had to kill them at the end of Generation. It was non-negotiable because they weren't in any future media.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I wrote the original Spartans, the prologue had the other 4 members dying in the prologue episode. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had to stick with that. I do wish I could have maybe had some more time with Cameron and Jake and Christian, but I had to kill them. And so It is a little rushed. It's not perfect.
Well, I mean, it didn't feel rushed, and it definitely wasn't expected.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave you feeling like you got shortchanged. You definitely get an emotional response out of it, which I think is important.
I did what I could with it.
You built their characters enough that we cared that they died. Right? So I don't think it was like a rush death would have been like you killed them in episode 3.
Yeah.
When I didn't give a shit about any of them.
Right.
Because you hadn't developed the buddy system that they have. You didn't get all the jokes. You didn't get all the close calls. There was no character development. Whereas here, my opinion in story writing is if you kill someone off, then you have to have a reason for it.
Yeah.
You want there to be that.
Dama.
You want them to have that emotional response.
Yeah.
Don't make it for nothing.
Right.
So,
Dama. Man, I got something in my throat today.
I also think, going back to Gabe, if he wouldn't have had the redemption moment, then his death would have been meaningless.
It would have been absolutely fucking, because he wouldn't have completed his arc. He would have had all this development for no payoff.
Yeah.
It had to happen.
So one of my questions too is, we see Catherine is on the beach staring off into a giant storm. Where'd you get that giant storm image from? Do you get to just pick that, or did you have to No,
it was on the map.
Okay.
But I looked at it and I said, you know what? This perfectly represents, 1, what's going on in her head. 2, what's coming, because obviously I've already made the sequels and stuff.
It was excellent. I really liked it. It didn't feel like just one of the regular maps. Like you can usually tell, oh, this is a map. This is a cutscene.
No, it was a map.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, there's a difference. There is pre-built maps made by the game developers and forge maps, which would be Cairo and all of Tripoli.
Uh-huh.
Those were, in Halo 2 Anniversary, all I had were blocks.
Right.
Concrete. So that's why Cairo and Tripoli look very samey, but that allowed me to configure my own maps.
Yeah.
Whereas stuff like the arena for the training and the beach and the base in episode 2, the windmill generator place at the end, that's why they look a lot better.
Yeah.
Because those are made by actual devs, not me.
Right. It's like Minecraft versus
a
preset level.
Pretty much.
Gotcha. Well, I thought it was an excellent like imagery. And like you said, she's going through some shit. He's going through some shit. This is where she wanted to be because it turns out it's like a hologram simulation.
Which allowed me to work in that map. I'm really glad I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. Yeah. Otherwise, she'd just been sitting in the base or somewhere. That would have been boring. But I'm really glad I invented the holographic training arena.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was a really nice touch. So Saul's talking to Catherine on the beach.
Yeah,
and she's talking about, I don't want to die for nothing and stuff like that. And Saul goes, "You will die for what you believe in." And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier on, where they all kind of have this fatalist viewpoint.
Well,
it's not you're going to make it through this because you believe in something. It's you're going to die, and you're going to die in this war. And you just have to make sure that it's because you believe in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think that's another theme with Generation is death. There are so many character deaths in Generation. Right. It's like dealing with our own mortality, how we keep going, knowing that we ourselves are also going to kick it eventually. And then just making sure that it's worth something, that we don't waste it.
Yeah. It's just, it kind of,
and as Spartans, they acknowledge that we have to be the ones to do the most dangerous things. Therefore, we are like 99 out of 100% chance going to perish doing this stuff.
It's almost as if survival isn't an option.
To a lot of them, it's not.
But it's not even like I'm going to survive, and then I'm just going to grow old, and the war is going to continue, but I'm just going to be old. They don't even see an end to the war. This is our new reality.
Well, and think about it. So they were Marines and Army troopers beforehand fighting in a 25-year-long war that we end, lose our greatest hero, the Master Chief, and then they come back. Yeah. They've spent their entire lives doing this. It's all they know.
Yeah. It's a great look into the mind of someone who is raised up in war. Right? Because like you said, it's literally all, I don't know how old they are, but you have, if it's 25 years, you have people who were born, raised, probably fought in something that was always going on.
In Brotherhood War, there's going to be a character named Logan, who's also in the Reach trilogy. He's an old man who enlisted to fight the Covenant around when the war started as soon as he was 18. So that was 25. He's still operating in 2590 when Brotherhood War takes place. Now, cryo sleep can slow your aging process.
Yeah.
So he's not like dying of old age, but he is very old and he's been doing this a long time. And there's a lot of cases in Halo like that. In the primary story, Sergeant Buck, who is, it also becomes a Spartan. Because in Halo 4 and 5, they introduced a new class of Spartans, also called the Spartan 4s, but I did it first, who are Army personnel turned into Spartans.
Yeah.
And he fought on Harvest, Reach, pretty sure he fought on Harvest, but Reach, Earth, and then he did more fighting as a Spartan. When you're in a universe like Halo and you go with extragalactic or intergalactic war, and you got all these races always fighting each other, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. And okay, so that brings up another question I had of with all these augmentations and improvements and enhancements, what does that do to the lifespan of a Spartan? Do they have an extended lifespan or do they burn out early or?
No, they don't burn out early, but nobody knows if they live any longer because so far they haven't.
So we just need to really watch that Amazonian woman who's crushing pelvis over there.
Probably. I mean, if they're like Captain America, they could probably live a little long because they got better metabolism and stuff like that. But they're not immortal. Right. Now, a lot of them, the Spartan 2s and 3s could not reproduce. So there's that.
Okay. That would be kind of the way to go if you could make it where they could reproduce.
Yeah.
Because then you could just have Spartan breeding programs.
Don't know if genetic augmentations carry over like that.
No, but you could at least guarantee that you're producing a higher likelihood of having a child who could have those predisposed genetic markers.
I suppose. I don't know if they'd carry over, but they might, I guess, yeah.
Because if you have to have certain chromosomal anomalies.
Or would that kill you, giving birth to that, gestating that? Because they're not made for it.
I don't know. If the enhancements don't travel over, you'd said earlier that you have to match a certain genetic makeup to be enlisted in the program.
Right.
And the only way you do that is by a mom and dad who both have the proper genetic markers to pass on to that offspring.
Right.
So if you already have those two
you're talking about that. I thought you were talking about the augmentations themselves.
No.
Yeah, okay. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, if you were to take those and breed them, then you're only going to come out with a kid who's maybe a little more predispositioned to being a Spartan.
Right. And I mean, there's always the chance that they don't.
Yeah.
But
it could be possible.
Then you get into another whole moral gray area.
Oh God, don't even get me started.
I mean, that's the whole thing. What's okay to do in because this isn't just a war situation. This is like we're annihilated situation.
Well, and again, the Spartan 2s weren't even made to fight the Covenant. The 3s were, but the Spartan 2s were made to crush rebels.
Right. But I'm saying after the war kicks off.
Sure, yeah.
Like what is okay we can all agree that to crush rebels or to keep people from going against the government, real shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
But
to keep us alive,
to save humankind.
And that was the Spartan 3 dilemma because again, they killed 300 teenagers.
Yeah.
In like Operation Trebuchet, Operation Torpedo, I think is what they were called. And they just went and did it again.
Yeah.
300 not captured, but conscripted, made into soldiers, biologically tortured, and killed. Sent on a suicide mission.
Right.
And they willingly did it just to get some revenge to the Covenant.
Yeah.
The kids. Yeah. It's tough. It's really tough. At what point do you lose the humanity you're fighting for?
Right. And we've had this conversation with some other comics and movies and stuff that we were talking. What was it we were talking about? We were talking about like what is okay to do in a wartime situation. Is it okay to become a monster in order to stop a monster? And
the way I see it, if you fight monster versus monster and one of you wins at the end of the day, there's still a monster left.
Right, but you also have the mindset of, well, I'll turn it off once this is over. The problem
Who
here...
said that and failed to do it? Who am I thinking of? Anakin? Wheatley from Portal 2?
I mean, it's a hard question. It's a very difficult question.
Didn't a Spartan have a... Okay, yeah. So, yes, Spartans can technically have children because one of the Spartan 2s managed to become a civilian and did have a son or daughter. Can't remember which one. So my guessing is that sterilization is not permanent.
The kid maybe stupidly strong was like crippling asthma. Yeah. Who knows what genetic defects might come out of all of this.
That'd be
manipulation.
Fucked. Like, okay, so imagine super strong bones trying to pair with the weak bones of a regular human.
Okay,
genetic-wise.
So there's a story called Invincible. Excellent story. But in there, this kid, he can fly. He's Superman, essentially. Super strong, super durable. But something happens and his powers are taken away. And they don't know if they're going to come back. Well, then they start coming back.
Right.
And he goes to fight this person. And he's like, oh, I have super strength again. I can fly again. But his super durability didn't come back. And so he goes full punch into this dude's face, and like his whole hand just explodes.
Oh.
And then he's like, "What's going on?" Like up to his elbow, just like shatters and blows into pieces.
God.
And it's an amazing scene, but it's also something that really got me thinking about. Okay, everybody says, "Oh, I want to be able to fly," or "I want super speed," or "I want." If you don't pair a superpower with super durability,
super speed, okay, and then when you stop, you just detonate.
Yeah, I mean, you better hope there's an air cushion because going fast creates a lot of friction.
Yeah.
Or if you can fly and you can fly as fast as Superman, a June bug's gonna put a hole in your head. Right? I mean, and then what you have to pair any sort of superpower or augmentation with super durability.
Yeah, pretty much.
And if that happens here, a kid might be able to jump 15 feet in the air, but when he lands, it's going to suck.
Curse.
Yeah. Or you just overwork your body and it can't take it, so you go to lift a car and then you rip out all of your ligaments.
Or if you even don't have if you got all that, but you don't have super metabolism and you just starve yourself to death doing all of this because you can't keep up with it.
Your body can't handle just surviving.
Yeah.
Because you're burning through so many
That's
calories.
fucked. We've really tapped into a new era here. That's what does Tatsu say? Because science answers so. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. I think because science is becoming a less accepted answer. I know it is in comics.
Yeah.
Because people are going back and like retrofitting answers. So the Flash can run at near light speed without bursting into flames or killing anybody beside him because the Speed Force provides an air cushion. And I mean, it's still a because science thing, but it's a less
because science.
Right.
I will still take because science for zero gravity on ships any day. Like, because once you look at, well, how are you getting zero gravity out of a spinning section? That means you can manipulate gravity, which means why the fuck aren't you using that as a weapon?
Yeah. A gravity gun?
Yeah, a gravity manipulator, black hole generator.
If you can
manipulate gravity, the world, the universe is yours.
If you have a gravity or anti-gravity gun, that means you can move things frictionless at any target you want.
They're in bionicle.
That means you have a gun that can launch a bullet, zero friction, so you could go.
Oh, he means the actual YouTube channel because science.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We'll have to check that out. Thanks.
Okay,
Tats.
I love that channel, by the way.
Oh, you do? I've never seen it.
My favorite one is how they explain that the ending of Lord of the Rings isn't how it would have gone. Because if Gollum would have fallen into the lava, it would have been more akin to he hits because it's rock.
Yeah.
And then he flies around the inside of the volcano like a hot stick of butter on a skillet.
He would have sunk into the ring, would have been.
And then the rating goes from
slides around.
The rating immediately shoots up to rated R because it's the worst death of any movie ever.
I gotta check that out. Holy shit!
Yeah,
can you just take a skillet and slide around the butter like that? That's
well. Even that. If you take a cast iron skillet or like a non-stick skillet or something, and you get it like maxed out hot, and then throw like a stick of butter on there, it'll just do it on its own.
So you're telling me? So you're telling me lava isn't just hot water?
No.
I thought it was just hot water and when you get in it, you just melt.
Nope.
I know. That's the joke.
Turns out it's rock.
Jesus.
Ultra dense.
That's why Macargo is a rock type. No, what the fuck were we talking about just now? Before that. Oh, I lost it.
Superpower. Sorry for the
durability. No, it was between those. Between superpowers and Gollum sliding around like a stick. I have that mental image. That's disgusting. Let's just continue on. I've lost it.
Okay, well, that's all I have for the show.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
The end.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. We covered it, man.
And you said you watched the blooper reel?
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Best blooper?
I don't know who it is. But he just starts shrieking because he's so fucking mad at the world because something didn't turn out right.
Was it Draven?
I have no
because
idea.
a line didn't turn out right. What was the
I don't
line?
know. And a lot of it is, I'm gonna go to
Yeah,
and then you get pissed. I was like, fuck this, fuck the bullshit.
I think that's Draven because I put a bunch of us together where he starts. They look into our stage. God damn it!
Yeah, the flub lines definitely got people the most upset.
Oh God, there were so many good ones there too. Peter McDonald, writer who voiced Jake, had some good ones where I put Michael Rosen's face over it because he does the nice, the bit because he's British and that thing, and then fucking there was more than just flubbed lines. There was the video gags. So we had the best thing ever. For whatever reason, Halo 2 Anniversary's Forge and Wraiths, the hover vehicles, the tanks, did not fucking merge well. Because the end there, where Wraiths are just sitting there and one of them goes, takes off.
Yeah.
Happened all the fucking time when we were on Forge maps.
It's just
there'd be like, what? And they'd somehow knock into each other without touching. So it'd be like,
yeah.
And you got ghosts just boom. Oh my God, it was so funny. And going through the teleporters, I don't know what the fuck it is, but there's the one where the Wraith goes through the teleporter and just up into the air. And it's just flying around.
You know what happened?
What?
It got hit by a giant.
From Skyrim?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It got clubbed by a giant. Sent into the stratosphere.
A baby seal walks into a club.
Oh, yeah?
A blind man walks into a bar, and then a table, and then a chair.
Jesus. All right.
So that's all?
Yeah, we need to talk about what we want to do next, man.
Well, Omega Halo.
You want to do Omega Halo?
Fuck yeah. You need to do all the Spartan legacies, so by the time Brotherhood War comes out, you'll be caught up.
Okay, how many is that?
Okay, so you got Omega Halo.
Right.
And then you got the Reach trilogy, which is Revolution. No, I'm sorry. It's Border War, Revolution, and then the Last War. But those three, so Border War and Revolution kind of equals like Omega Halo's length. And then all 15 episodes of the Last War equal Omega Halo's length. Roughly. I used to make them with a lot bigger numbers, but shorter runtime.
Right.
And then you have, after the Reach trilogy, there's Tales of the Reach trilogy. And you have Lifebringer. And then you'll be caught up along with a couple shorts in between.
All right.
Nice.
All right. Well, I will start on that.
Sounds good. I think you'll like it. It's much better. I actually have an HD capture card, and that's the last one you'll see until Brotherhood War.
Okay.
The rest is in shitty-ass, low-def, normal screen, not widescreen. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, that will be our episodes for the next, 8 years?
Depends on you, boy. You're the one having a kid.
Yeah, I guess. All right, guys. Well, like it says down on the screen, I am the Comic Den, Ace Knuckles. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you're into comics, that's mostly what I do. I made an exception for Jacob here just because he hung in for, 6 volumes of Vader.
Collectively, 9 fucking hours of film. Yeah.
Oh, it was more than 9 hours.
Yeah.
We did 3 to 4 hours per episode, man.
Yeah,
this
that sounds about
This
right.
is our shortest one that we've done.
Yeah, we're ticking out at 2 hours. That's not bad.
I know. It's pretty crazy. So, yeah, check those out. Jacob is great in those. Those will also be of varying quality. My studio didn't always look like this.
Yeah.
Your first one we did at your place.
Yes.
The second one we did at your place.
Did we?
I think so.
I thought the second one we did here where you had the couch.
Yeah, maybe. We had the couches here.
Yeah, I think we only did one at my place, I think. I don't know.
We've done 2.
Did we?
Yeah, one of them was around Christmas because I remember there being a Christmas tree.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, the first 2 were probably my place then.
Then we had couches. Then the table was turned this way.
Yeah.
And now we've got more new studio.
I liked this better.
I definitely like this setup a little bit better. That way it's not just right here on us. Although we've just been sitting here looking at each other.
No, I mean, it's okay.
So yeah, feel free, follow me on any of that, especially if you're into comics. With this new, yeah, what? That was one. Oh, thanks, man. And thanks for the congrats on the kid. Hopefully it's mine. I think it's like 90% chance.
You ever just screw a girl so hard your baby comes out a different color? Because that happened to me once.
Oh, I just hope it's a puppy.
When you do the Bill Cosby joke when it comes out. Can we put it back in? It's not done cooking yet.
Yeah. And then give a girl a roofie.
Cardi B, Bill Cosby, and me walk into a bar. I don't really remember the rest. I just wish I could remember the rest of that joke, but I can't remember it.
All right. Check out all of my videos. Not all of them are this hilarious.
Only the ones with me.
The ones with Jacob get a little crazy, though.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you, Jacob, for getting all these people to join in.
I just want peace.
We're going to be doing more Halo. If any of you guys want to hang out and like check out videos and you really like it and you find out that you like some comics, hit me up. This StreamYard makes it immensely easy to do streaming and shit like that.
And don't forget to check out Magnus.
Yes,
his
check out
comic.
Magnus. We are currently sold out of first prints of issue 1.
Really?
So there's nowhere to go. Yeah, printed 1,000, sold 1,000.
Wow, so you can't get them anymore.
But we are doing a second printing. We're going to print a smaller number of issue 1 when we print another 1,000 issues of issue 2.
Maybe you can put like a teaser online, like show the first just page or two.
Go follow Chris Rao. It's Mr. Rao Arts. Yeah, Mr. Rao Arts on Instagram. We post stuff for Magnus all the time. There's a ton of you can get sample pages. I think the first 6 are colored.
Oh, cool.
We haven't got to coloring the rest of them yet. But yeah, check it out. Hit me up. You can Venmo me some money whenever the actual books come in. I'll ship them to wherever you guys are. But yeah, check it out. It's fun. It's violent.
Lots of blood.
Lots of blood.
And badass warriors and creatures.
Yeah, I love it. It's probably one of the most fun things I've ever done. Other than
this, of course.
Other than this.
Right, bitch.
All right. You got anything? These people know where to follow you, man.
Well, I think they already are.
Yeah, tell the people who are going to watch this later where to follow you.
Yeah, Chronicler 177 is my YouTube channel. I run a Discord with a lot of really fun people where you can stay up to date, talk to me, talk to others. Other like-minded people. You can usually find a link to the Discord in the descriptions of most of my videos, so it's pretty easy to get in. Yeah, that's me.
All right. Peace out, guys.